Plum Delusional is live in 3, 2.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Dungeon Studios this week. We're getting in here with a new guest and on Plum Delusional. I think this is episode 15, maybe. I'll have to double check that count, but we're in here this week with Chris Pope from United Rentals. I'm going to let him say a little bit and introduce himself.
Hey, Daniel, thanks for having me. Pleasure as always to get to speak with you. And I've actually listened to a few of the podcasts and enjoy it. So I like what you're doing for the people out in the studios. My name's Chris Pope. I'm with United Rentals. I've been here for going on 5 years coming up this year. I was actually an electrician before I became the United.
We ain't going to hold that against you.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's always the plumbers versus electricians on it for sure. But been in the electrical trade and on the construction site for the last 20 years. I've enjoyed my time as an electrician. Knew it was going to be time for a little bit of a change. Wanted to separate a little bit from my family, and it was just a natural step to go in to still still be able to handle the construction world, because this is where I grew up and love the people here.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Doing the rental stuff, you still get to come out here and put up with us hard-headed guys that do this construction stuff and everything, but you also don't got to worry about getting down there and being on these hot jobs and stuff like that. But
absolutely.
I'm sure you have your stressors just like we do on trying to get everybody what they need when they need it.
Oh, absolutely. And see, that was one of the things that whenever I met with my bosses, whenever I took this job, their big push was, it's easy to go into the offices. You just got to get out to the construction sites.
Right.
And I told them, that construction site's not my problem. I love being on sites. I love being in the plants and things of that nature. The office was a little bit tougher for me, just having to make sure I had my I's dotted and T's crossed,
I understand that. That's one thing that's one of my complaints now, is I tell my wife and my guys all the time, if I was still just pulling wrenches, I think I'd be a lot less stressed. Sitting in the office, dealing with, the paperwork, bidding, making sure I got my, all my bids right. Like if I need rental equipment, got to figure out what that, on the bids and stuff like that. I feel you on that. I'd rather be out in the field as in the office any day of the week.
Yeah, I think it's always that grass is always greener, because it's there's been many a times where I've just wanted to be out in the ditch, just throwing electrical lines in, and get to thinking about it, and you're not seeing the hot and the cold and and all that on that grass. So yeah, no, I actually have been doing this for a few years. I've absolutely loved getting to meet everyone and try to help push project along.
Yeah. Well, I know if you've been to a construction project around anywhere, you've seen the United Rentals symbol on anything. Y'all got a big presence in this area, I know.
Oh yeah. We definitely shoot for it. We've actually, so we're I guess you consider newer company. United Rentals came around 97. And kind of hit the ground running. And it seems like they have, bought a few of the companies around here. And that's one thing I can say about United Rentals, more than anywhere else. Whenever we would end up acquiring a company, there was always a spot for everybody. Right. They would make spots for the guys to make sure that we kept them. Nobody's going to be out on the streets whenever we took over an acquisition. And I would say, honestly, in the Chattanooga area, we have 3 stores that we kind of run out of our metro there. Mm-hmm. There's probably 5 to 6 people that actually started at United Rentals and came to United Rentals. The rest have been acquisitions from everywhere else. So it's one of those deals where the people come over and they love working there.
Yeah. Well, my dad actually used one of the companies y'all acquired, and I think it was RSC or RC.
Oh yeah.
All right, and that's how we got together. When they acquired it, my account just went over to y'all, and we just always used y'all and stuff like that. But now, say y'all don't just rent construction equipment, though? Do y'all, what's the smallest thing you have rent?
No, so we go in and I actually work out of our general rent division, which is your basic, lifts, forklifts, dirt equipment, things of that nature. We actually have specialty divisions as part of United Rentals that will handle your power HVAC. We have like our site services handles, fencing, restrooms, things of that nature. Fluid solutions for pumps. We handle, connexes and office space, and we actually have a tools division that can go down to renting drills and impacts. We can handle pretty much about everything to do with a construction site.
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody understood that's watching. Even some of the homeowners, I know they get out and do the weekend warrior stuff. I don't recommend it unless you know what you're doing, because, call a professional. I always say that. But I was going to say, if they needed something like a drill or something that they can't get, you don't want to go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy a $600 rotary hammer. They can holler at y'all at one of y'all's locations, and y'all can probably help them out.
Correct. Yeah, that definitely, that's honestly around this area. That is a big part, is walk-in customers coming into the office, and we can definitely help them out in that situation. One, like I said, good part about United Rentals is just the size of United Rentals. We're the leading industry in rental equipment. We have around 1,600 locations in North America and another 50 around Australia, New Zealand, and probably about 50 more in Europe.
Wow.
We employ around 27,000 people, I think, the last time I checked. But at that magnitude, that's where I'm kind of saying, we work with all the other branches involved.
Right.
So if there is, a piece of equipment, and this definitely happened around the COVID time for sure. But whenever everybody's tight on equipment and can't get much out there, we have a stronger base that we can actually pull from to make things happen. Because I know, speaking past customers, around that time, it was, they would call their neighborhood rental place, and it was a deal of, hey, we'll get this to you whenever we can get it to you. It may be a month or two out, just whenever we get finished up. You're 5th or 6th in line, where we try to make sure that we can, accommodate the customer in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Going back to COVID, you could even go out and buy a brand new, if you went out to buy a new mini excavator or whatever, you was on 5 or 6 months wait on it.
Oh, really?
And I know now we talked about this. Y'all bulked up during COVID, so y'all actually liquidated some of your stuff. I actually wound up with one of your good excavators. I was going to say that's another thing I'm really, really impressed with y'all's service division, because y'all really, one phone call. Usually if they don't come that day, it's the next day at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we have, and that's one thing about the big companies, they have metrics on everything. And so we are able to track pretty well on our service side of everything. And with the service, they were averaging close to about 2 hours. So if you called me up on a job site and you had something down, within about a 2 hour span, more or less, we would have a tech out there on site. And that's also standard with our customer-owned division. So we actually have a customer-owned division on any of your equipment, so it don't have to be any rental equipment. You can just give me a call, and I can set up our guys, and they'll come out just like it was a rental piece. They're going to get you fixed up, and just make sure that you understand that what's going on. If you want to fix little items, they can fix little items. But if you just need to be back up and running, they can get you handled pretty quick.
Yeah. They come down here, and which is the piece of equipment I bought from y'all. They come down and done what I had to have fixed under the warranty, and then they done some work on some other equipment I had over there, and he got it running. But he was like, if you want, I wanted some new cables on it. He's like, well, that machine's so old, we can't get them. He said, if you get me the cables and then call me back, I'll put them on. But which we finally we never could find the cables. There's some retrofit ones anyway, but we wound up getting them oiled, and we're running it. But then I think I just turned around and bought a track loader from you after that. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And that's where it comes down to. And we've had this discussion many times, on the rentals, sales of equipment, things of that nature. I don't want you to buy or rent from me for this deal. Right. I want to do it for the next deal and the next deal. I want to. It's all about your customer base at that point, and that's what I want to make sure. Like I said, we can take care of anything you have coming your way, anything that makes you better, and like I said, that's the other part of it is whenever you do well on a job, and we can help you perform well on a job, then you're getting the next job. Right. Same for you. It's the same all around.
Yeah. And that's the good thing about it. That's what I really like about the United Rentals, the way they do their platform and everything. I mean, it's just not, I don't have to pick up a phone and, wait to hear the tone or nothing like that. You come down, check on me at least once or twice a month, make sure I don't need anything. If I need you, I call you straight. There's always a person. It's not like you're dealing with just a machine or answering machine or whatever to get your machine, and you'll come out and make sure everything's satisfactory. And then if it's not, you'll make sure it gets that way. I do want everybody to understand y'all do have a great service and customer service is what I'm trying to say there. That's one thing I do with these podcasts is try to highlight some of the companies that has helped me and made me more of an efficient company. That's just how it is.
I appreciate that. We appreciate that. And that's what we want to be able to do, because at the end of the day, I'd say it's going to be the same with your business. We probably won't be the cheapest. We'll have some mom and pop places. We probably won't be the cheapest, but that's where we make up for it is with our customer service, with our technicians, working on equipment to keep you from having downtime, things of that nature. And that's what we look for is, not necessarily a customer, but a partnership. On that front. And I appreciate, all the kind words on that for sure. It's definitely good to hear that, you're putting into it and getting something out of it.
Yeah. Well, say I'm getting ready as a homeowner and I need say I want to do just some light brush stuff, and I want maybe a smaller excavator and I don't even know if y'all do dump trailers. Do y'all do dump trailers? Yeah. Say I wanted a small excavator and dump trailer. How do I go about doing that? Maybe somebody out there watching wanting to know how they even go about renting them.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of different ways, and that's we definitely try to streamline, being able to get contact from you. So obviously, the one way that I prefer is you can actually just reach out to me directly. We can get an account set up for you if you don't have an account already, or if you do, we can get it pulled up and make sure we can discuss if you have any questions on what you may need, what may work better for you in that situation. And there's been many times where I've actually went out to customers' sites and houses and things of that nature just to kind of give them a little bit of reassurance of what they're going to need out there. Now, that being said, if you don't want to, call out to me directly, you can actually just pull up our number online, call our branch directly, and we have a good team of inside sales reps that will make sure you're taken care of and get everything lined up for you. And third way with, obviously the new technology and you can just hop straight on the internet and you can order it directly from the internet. So we definitely have different ways you can do it. And, you can come in to, if you have the towing capacity and or trailers if you need them, whatever, or we actually have the trailers also we can rent, but you can come to our office, pick them up directly, and that way you can get out, or if you need them delivered, we actually, definitely have a trucking source to get them to you.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something else. And when you come to the rental is, you're talking about the moms and pops place. I don't know if this is about the moms and pops place, but I've rented from some places and they said, $500 a day for, say, just, an excavator. Well, you get it for $500 a day, and there's a hidden cost in there.
Yes.
That's one thing I got to say about y'all. If whatever you quoted me is what I get billed for.
Correct. Yeah, that's where, and I hate to say it, it's not so much the mom and pop places that do that also, but we will pull everything up front.
Right.
We want to make sure that about the only thing that you may have on the back end is if you are using fuel and don't have it filled up on the back end. That's about it. And I've heard horror stories, and I'm not going to name, like I said, any other companies, but I've heard horror stuff.
I could give you some, but I ain't going to go into it. But I just had that on my mind when you were saying that.
Absolutely. And obviously the way everything's kind of inflated off of it, and the rising cost of fuel and things of that nature. One of our, I guess, biggest price increases has been on our delivery side, and it's come all around. Everybody has had to have price increase on delivery. It's just how you want to actually show it. Ours just shows it directly, where other ones may have, fuel surcharges.
Well,
these little odd and end deals, and
I understand I own a business. I know things is going to go up. Don't tell me you're charging me for wear and tear on the tires on the truck. Just tell me we had to go up because fuel's higher. I'm paying the truck driver more because it's harder to retain good help.
Yeah.
And, good quality drivers with clean records are hard to come by.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I know y'all have to pay a premium price for people like that. So just tell it to me straight. Don't try to catch me off guard with it.
That's 9 out of 10 times. That's, in the construction field, you may not like what you hear, but you're going to respect if it's the truth, and that's where we have to have some of these hard conversations sometimes. And a lot of people respect it. A lot of people understand. Now, obviously we still have, a few that may not. And I hate, to have to, have some people run away a little bit, but we want to make sure that we give them the truth up front, because I would rather it be, something of that nature where they don't necessarily care for something that may have happened, for the rising cost, and not something that we did to them on the back end in the long run.
Right. Yeah, I get it sometimes, and I know what you're saying. And I think people have a tendency they ain't got no avenue other than to either not use you for business or give you a bad review for stuff that really is not out of your control. We do some financing with some finance companies. Mm-hmm. Well, I can't help it if the finance don't come through for you. Correct. I've got a couple of bad reviews on Google because I couldn't get them financed. Yeah. Well, I can't make them finance. Stuff like that. It's just like it's just like y'all don't set the standard of what it costs to deliver and pick up, and it's the economy really that sets it. Oh
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we could get away from pricing on pickup and delivery, I would be more than happy with that, because at the end of the day, I understand the reasoning behind it for the company, but that's not necessarily my bottom dollar. I want to get as much equipment out as I possibly can, and if that's
because once you get it out, on big projects it stays out for a while. So
absolutely,
that's the thing about it. But like I guess I'm thinking about home weekend stuff, that picking it up and setting it off within 2 days, that it's not as absorbed as easy as if you're doing a month-long project.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's certain times whenever we have some of these deliveries out where the pickup and delivery is more than the actual rental itself. Yeah. And it's a hard one to, break down. But, like I said, a lot of repeat customers, they understand what that is, and that we're going to make sure we can help them in any way we can.
Yeah. And that's one of the things about it. When you go to do it at home, or you're trying to do do your own work, you've got to figure in some of this stuff. And I think when they go out and rent this equipment, they figure out why some of this stuff costs the way they do. Septic tank fill lines. You go jump on one of them, rent you an excavator, then buy the material, and then rent the excavator, and then figure out how much work's in it. You start to realize why they start out at $6,900 or $7,000.
Yes, sir.
For the smallest things, But do y'all do dumpsters?
So we don't do dumpsters at this moment. I know there have been kind of rumblings that we may look at trying to get into the dumpster business. It's going to be just like another specialty division.
Right.
So they'll have a specialty rep that handles the area and make sure they get it going. But that's about one of the only things on a construction site that we do not do.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't think y'all done dumpsters yet, but I knew y'all done. I knew y'all done on site toilets and stuff like that, and I didn't think there wasn't much you done, but the dumpster, I know a lot of people get in the dumpster business, so I've noticed that.
Oh yeah. It's, I mean, you can just pull up a certain area where I'll have, customers coming out of town to a project, and they'll ask me for information,
Right.
and I can pull it up on the internet, and there'll be 10 different dumpster companies within a 5-mile radius,
Yeah.
and like I said, more power to them. That's not my cup of tea.
Right.
If we get it, that's kind of like especially like a trench safety that we handle on the boxes and everything. If you call me up and say, "Hey, I need a box for to get in this hole and do this and that," I'm not going to give you my suggestions. I'm not. It's going to that trench safety rep, and they are going to make sure you get what you need. I have not a clue on it. I'm not going to act like I have a clue on it. It's the same with the dumpsters. I don't want necessarily any part of it, but if we do start offering it, it's just going to be another tool in our belt.
Well, and then going back to that trench safety, I'm glad you said that because I didn't even think about y'all having trench safety equipment up there, and that's a good thing because I'm fixing to send a couple of my guys to some trench safety. You don't think about a trench being dangerous that you can dig with a small machine, but you get anything above your waist.
Oh, absolutely.
It can kill you in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
If it caves in.
Oh, absolutely. It don't take much at all with it. And I know there's actually, I've noticed that OSHA's been picking up a lot around here because there's been a couple of deaths where something's caved in. And we actually had one over in Cleveland. It's been probably about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And it happened probably 5 miles from where our branch in Cleveland is. And they had a cave in there. Gentleman got killed. They were showing pictures of it on the news, and the trench box was sitting 10 foot over.
I was going to ask you if was that the one where he was out of the trench box?
Yeah, the trench box is sitting 10 foot over on the side, and they just didn't want to take the extra time to pick it up and drop it in the box.
Well,
drop it in the hole.
And I know we've done some where we've had to have some trench boxes. We dug up there at the State Patrol Barracks here in town. We dug a ditch up there, and we had to have one. And for one, at the time, I was younger, but I remember them being costly to rent. And it does make it harder to install the pipe. But, I mean, like I said, seconds of that thing caving in, and you think, well, this is old Georgia red clay. You ain't got to worry about it. But it shears is what it does. It slides off.
Yeah.
And that trench box will save your life every time. So, I mean, that's what we're fixing to do. We're fixing to send some of our guys to learn more trench safety, which they've done some of it, but I feel like it's coming. I think it's coming to a head, especially with all the growth that we're having around here.
Correct. And this area here, you can attest to this. It is you have this chert dirt from the south, rocky chert dirt, and then from the north you have that red clay.
Right.
And it all mixes right here, and it makes some of the most garbage dirt in this area. It
does.
And it's difficult. It's difficult to cut through. So there's definitely a need for that safety, and it's
right. Like I said, when you cut through it, a lot of times it's hard to dig.
Oh yeah.
But once you cut through it, you're catching them rocks that you're talking about, and you get them rocks loose, and it disturbs the earth above it, and it just kind of slides off, and it does it all at one time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've had it do it, which most of our ditches are 3 foot down.
Correct.
But we've seen it in a 3 foot ditch before, just slide off.
Oh yeah.
And I tell my guys all the time, see, if you was in that ditch right there, it still hurts your legs. Wouldn't kill you, but it still hurts your legs. But just think if that ditch was above your head.
Oh yeah.
Or just right here. I mean, it's gonna hit you. And if you can't, the compression of that, if you can't get them out far quick enough, it makes them start compartmentalizing in their legs and stuff like that, and circulation, and it kills them.
Yeah. It's it definitely doesn't seem like it makes sense until you look into it, that somebody can be, buried from the chest up, be on the ground and suffocate. And that's the reason behind it, because all the extra weight pushed in on it.
But I'm glad to hear y'all have got a safety division and a safety engineer that'll tell them what they need.
Correct. And they'll get it all on site. And we actually also have we call it United Academy, and it is a full training service. So it'll have, your confined space, the trench safety aspects, and it goes down to even, your scissor lift safety, boom lift, forklifts and things of that nature, because a lot of, especially plants, industrial plants and bigger job sites, you're required to have that training.
So y'all do confined space and ditch.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, our United Academy, they handle everything. I was actually kind of
around here.
Well, so we actually will have a rep that handles the kind of North Georgia, Tennessee area, and he can travel to locations. You can actually do it as a hybrid program, to where you can do a lot of the computer stuff online at your own pace, and then our trainer comes out and actually we'll do it on site for job sites, or we can do it at the branch. And
I need to get the information on that, because we're fixing. I'm fixing. Yeah, I got to get some guys some training on stuff like that, because we're doing some bigger, more commercial jobs, and they're wanting us to have. They're wanting us to have that certification.
No, that's a big thing. And one of the coolest things, I always like to point this out with the United Academy, because this is one of the coolest things that I've seen. Whenever you go through any point of training through United Academy, about 2 weeks later, you'll get something in the mail that'll have your card, saying you're certified for this. It'll have a QR code, and it'll have stickers for your hard hat that have a QR code. If you or anybody, your safety guy on a project, wants to see, they see somebody on a scissor lift and they want to make sure they have training, they can go over there, scan that QR code on their hard hat. It'll pull up the individual and every bit of training that they have. And so that way you're able to, you don't have to play the, when a safety guy come over, ask if you have it. Yeah, I have it, but I don't have my card with me. Well, he can tell everything on it. And then, let's say, you go into the next step and you want to have a different kind of training. Instead of having all these different QR codes on your hard hat, it just adds to it.
And you like a database.
Correct. And it gives you your expiration dates on the stuff, and it'll actually alert the people, and alert the company that, it's time for these trainers,
and
train back.
That's what we run in. We done the Murphys up on, up in Fort O, and we've doing the Zaxby's, and I've bid some other stuff. And I know we've at least got to have, some of the, confined space stuff. They want us to have, I've got to at least have 2 technicians on the job that's trained. That way we can keep the job going and stuff like that on them commercial jobs. And, but I'm one of them, if all of them's got it, I can, if something happens and one of them has to leave, or if one of them has to run to lunch and then the safety guy comes up, we get caught with our pants down, as they say.
Yeah.
Cause they don't get, they don't give you much leniency.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But
safety is definitely a big deal, around here, and it's a big deal in our company. So that's why, they do a lot of drive for the safety.
Right. And y'all got to go. You were saying about that database and stuff like that. I run into this situation, which I bought the track loader from y'all, and we was talking about y'all being able to teach people and good communication skills. I think I called you. It was late one afternoon, and you told me, said, "Hey, call the technician and see what he can do about it." And it was that new Takahauchi front end or track loader, and it had been, I thought, that first track, that skid steer loader that I have out there, I think we bought it in like 96.
Yeah.
But this thing was doing some kind of something. So I called him, and he's like, "Oh man, let me tell you what to do." And he told me, and what it was a regen thing it wanted to go through.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so new, we didn't know how to do it. So he walked us through it, and I mean, he was just as nice about it. And I'm sure he was off the clock because it was 6:30.
Oh yeah. No, we definitely push a lot for that service, and it's kind of our corporate answer my schedule, 7 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Right.
Personal answer, anytime you call, I'm gonna do my best to make sure you get taken care of, because if I've learned if I don't answer the phone, somebody else will.
Right.
And
that's the way we are around here. We may go home, and here's a guy that used to do dozer work around here. His slogan was, "We may doze, but we never close."
Yeah.
And that's what I see. We may go home and stuff like that, but I carry my cell phone, and you can usually get a hold of me if we can take care of it without having to get the whole crew out. We will, but we do the same thing. I know we're getting close down here to the end of the podcast. Is there anything you want to leave the audience with that we ain't covered?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, we can definitely go into a lot further detail. I'll make sure that my number gets out, card gets out.
Well, if you'll leave a card with Diego, he'll actually put it on the podcast site, and they'll be able to go there, and you get a hold of him and stuff like that.
Yeah, but we can definitely go into as much detail as you want. I do like to throw out our new operating system. So we actually run an app called Total Control. Mm-hmm. And what this does is, you can do as little or as much as you want to off of that, as far as renting, pulling equipment off, rent, any kind of service calls. If you don't want to talk to anybody, you can just click a button, put it on there.
Right.
Check invoices, pay invoices, and do everything kind of streamlined off internet, because I don't know if you get as much. I would say my phone call rate is probably 40% to where it is text messages and emails. Nobody wants to talk anymore. Nobody wants to just have a conversation anymore. It's all online. So I know they definitely streamline that, and it's worked out really well for us. You can go down as far as, if you have a piece of equipment on site, you can pull it up with a GPS tag that we have on our equipment. You can find out exactly where it is on site, and see how much fuel's in the thing.
Right.
Just through the computer. So that's definitely a game changer on that front.
Yeah. And, but going back to the technology, I've got, most people want to text you or send you something on text message or email or something like that. But I still got my old school contractors. They won't even leave me a voicemail. Yeah. If they don't talk to a human, they're not talking.
Oh, that's exactly right. That's the truth. Yeah.
But hey, that's going to do us today for Plum Delusional. Y'all go online. Click the like button. Follow us on Spotify, all your major platforms, Apple Podcast, all that. We're on there. We've just started a new YouTube channel. We're on there. We've also got a Facebook page. And Chris, we appreciate you being here. And we'll get Chris stuff online to where y'all can get a hold of him in case you need to rent anything. Our construction buddies out there, he does a great job. I don't think you'll be dissatisfied with anything he tries to help you with. And if you're a homeowner, be careful and let him give you his recommendations on the equipment.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate all the kind words.
All right. Hey, I'm Daniel Mitchell with Plum Delusional. We're down here signing off in the dungeon. Don't forget about us up here at 206 North Duke Street, Lafayette. That's Mitchell's Plumbing and Pots. We're here when you need a place to go. We'll see you next time.
Got a quick question.
Okay.
So this is podcast related. One question is, what podcast have you been watching with your daughter?
Which one have I been watching with my daughter? The one with my daughter. Me and my daughter. We watch it every now and then and laugh and stuff like that. But she likes to watch a little old mall to see what we're doing.
Oh, well, wasn't there a podcast that you guys watch, like the Swifties or something?
Oh, you're talking about New Heights with the Kels brothers. Yeah. I'm a Swiftie by marriage, but it's actually, I tell you, I do love it. It's got my girls watching football with me.
Oh, absolutely.
I've always been a football fan, and but they're Kansas City Chiefs fans and Swiftie fans. So it works out good for me. I can watch football. They come in there and Keela cooks a lot of snacks and stuff. But yeah, we've been watching New Heights. I love New Heights. And hey guys, if y'all want to come down here and do one with me, or I'll come up here and do one with y'all. No, thanks. I didn't even think about you talking about that. But yeah, remember, that's Plum Delusional. They come down here to a podcast. I'm going to kiss you right on the lips.
That's it. Got the Kelsey brothers over there.
Yeah, they do. They watch them all the time. I wasn't even thinking about that, but she does. But she, we watched it the other day. Taylor Swift was on their podcast.
Yeah, I saw.
Did you see how many views they got for that?
How many?
I mean, it was like over right at 1 billion. I mean, it was crazy. And it was just more and more and more. I mean, she's got a cult following.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's almost nerve wracking whenever you actually see that. And that's the thing, you know, you look at like the boy bands and things of that nature, and it's like you had a certain age group, and then after that age group, it kind of popped out. It's like hers, they just keep going.
Right.
I mean, it just keeps going, man, and just adding more. There's not really
my wife is 34, and my daughter's 9, and both of them love her music.
Yeah.
You know, and then I got a 22-year-old that loves her music. You know, so but she ain't got just yeah, you're right. I mean, like Hank Williams Jr. I mean, people my age and older liked him.
Yeah.
You know, and but she's got a fan base that goes out through many generations.
Correct, and it just keeps growing. It's just recycling at that point. It just keeps growing. There's nobody really leaving on it, and that's nuts. It's
But I know people get on there and Keela show me them things where they're like, she's ruining football. Shit, for me, she made it where it's easy for me to watch.
That's it. That's the truth.
Hey, I appreciate you coming down.
Absolutely.